What are we all have our David versus Goliath moments throughout it. What was your biggest challenge?
My biggest thing was normally injuries. You know, I thought ability-wise and, you know, what I was doing in football, you know, I was a very confident young boy. You know, I was so confident in myself and my ability. I was doing well. Everyone was telling me I was doing well, but then I was sort of injury prone. So I was always getting me injuries, and when I was getting me injuries, you know, I was sort of down in the dumps, and that was sort of hard part of it.
Is it because you're overplayed? It's like I look at the schedule of a football and more so now, I'm like, God, they're really working.
It is tough, but telling a young boy you can't play football this weekend or you can't play football to have a rest. You know, I used to play football for 8 hours a day on concrete with my pals. You know what I mean? So my mum and dad called me in, you know, get indoors, you know, it's bedtime.
Yeah.
We'd be on concrete all day, 7 days a week. So that must take its toll. That definitely takes its toll.
I can imagine. How much of it is mental in its success?
You've got to be mentally strong. You've got to be mentally confident.
Yeah.
If you haven't got them sort of things, then it's going to be a lot tougher.
Right.
If you are mentally strong and you've got that ability and you believe in yourself, I think you go a lot longer than you would.
Can you go in a bit more detail on that? What do you mean mentally strong? So you're going out there...
I mean, of course you go out there and depending on who you're playing in front of, you might be playing in front of, you know, 10,000, 12,000 or 600.
Right.
Playing from at 600 you can hear people say, you know, you're rubbish, you're this, you're that, or you're great, you're this and that. But these are the things you've got to be mentally strong, or you either shrug them off or get on with things, and you've got managers and coaches and whatnot telling you what to do. You just got to be, you know, strong and believe in yourself, and then eventually, if you're good enough, it will sort of come out.
So you got kind of, what they say, rented out. What's the right word?
That was a rent boy for a while, yeah.
This is the one thing in football where if you're not performing within the team, or
you get loaned out.
Loaned out is the word.
Yes.
How do you handle that?
That's tough because then you feel not wanted.
Right. Now, you got loaned out, right?
I got loaned. I was at Arsenal till, so I made 3 appearances at the Arsenal, and then I was young at the time, you know, and I was trying to break into a team full of superstars that, you know, went unbeaten and won the league. The
How do you handle that?
So, I mean, that's tough, but at the same time, you're young and you realise, you know, these great stars, you're not expecting to be in front of them. So,
who were you playing with? Give us some names.
Oh, blimey, every day I was sort of training with Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, who was my hero at the time. So it was great, but it's not until you come away from that and realise what you was doing at the time. At the time I was thinking, I just want to play football, you know, training, I think I'm good enough, I want to play, I want to play. Yeah. So that's when the sort of thing come out back with the loan. So it's good for the youngsters to go on loan, it's fine. Right. When you're a bit older and your team loans you out, it's a bit like kicking the teeth.
How old were you?
I was only 19 or 20 at the time. So I felt, you know, yeah, cool, going to get some experience, go out on loan. Yeah. So I went and done that at Stoke City, and had 2 great months on loan, played every week, and then how can you imagine, I didn't want to not play anymore. So then it come about, it was like, well, I don't want to go back to reserve team football at Arsenal, I want to stay and play football. So then I was bought by Stoke City, and I stayed there for 3 years, maybe 3 years.
Okay.
That's 3 great years there, yeah.
And who was in Stoke City?
Stoke City at the time. At the time, it was in the Championship, the league below the Premiership. Yeah. So we had some great players. We had a great manager in Tony Pulis. Tony Pulis is, you know, West Brom manager now, and he's done great in the Premiership with a number of teams. But yeah, great guy. I loved him to bits, and he looked after me, and I was happy with Stoke, you know, for 3 years. But then he left, and I was like, I don't want to be in anymore.
So a coach can have that power.
Well, he definitely had it on me. And then he left, and then I had a lot of interest from teams above. And then I was like, well, if, you know, he's gone, I sort of want to go as well. And then I went to Reading, who got promoted to the Premiership that season. And that was when my sort of injuries started. And yeah, I probably didn't look after myself as much as I should have when I was injured, which is probably the main thing of why I got re-injured quite a bit.
Coach fault? Your fault?
That's my own fault, yeah.